Hello, Matthew Williams here, and I recorded a video yesterday which got cut off because of problems with my USB, so I'm re-recording it, so probably going back over some points that I've already made. But anyway, I was sent an article by Tony Gosling. Tony Gosling is an independent reporter. He's a National Union of Journalists reporter, works for various newspapers from time to time, and also runs the site bilderberger.org. So he's quite up on the New World Order conspiracy. As I said yesterday, also a Christian. I'm not necessarily interested in those sorts of religious beliefs, but you know, he's a Christian fellow. So if that means anything to anybody, it's basically a story which is quite alarming, which is that this appeared in the Sunday Express, but not on the internet for some reason. So appeared in the actual print version. But it says UK poised on nuclear plot by Marco Glanangel, defence correspondent for the UK Sunday Express, on page 44, May the 22nd, 2011. It says British scientists are preparing to help American experts take control of Pakistan's nuclear facilities in the event of a raid by Islamic terrorists. The US is on high alert for reprisal attacks after it killed Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. Pakistan has thwarted 4 such terror attempts on its own in the past 5 years alone. But if the US feels it must take over in the future, British experts will help run 25 nuclear facilities, many in the northwest, a hotbed of radicalism. Only yesterday, Yellowstone Park. Only yesterday, relatives mourned 15 people who died when a NATO oil tanker was attacked there. The Sargodha base, Air Force Base, where Pakistan's 80 nuclear missiles are kept, is in the area. A source said the US is concerned about these facilities falling into the wrong hands, and they are willing to take steps to deal with the situation. This will include American and British nuclear experts. So that's the piece. But what's interesting about this piece is the fact that America feels it has the right to interfere in the affairs of another country, not necessarily with the permission of that country. Also, very clear from this is that America feels if it feels the need to do this against Pakistan's wishes, you know, for its own ends, for America's ends, then it will obviously invade Pakistan and do what it wishes with Pakistan's nuclear facilities, even though Pakistan has nuclear weapons. Now, this is going to get quite interesting, isn't it? So all that some terrorist group has to do is keep pushing and trying to take control of those facilities in order to produce a Cold War style standoff situation where Pakistan is poised to use its nuclear weapons against the West. Is that not how that would come about? Would that not come about? So my question is, what gives America the right to interfere in the sovereign activities of another country? You know, that it has the right to act as a world police force in these matters and go in and do this in the first place. Why is it that Britain automatically, by the statements made in this article, Britain will automatically take orders from the US and do what it is told and supply experts which will help run these facilities? Why is it that this article doesn't appear, as is pointed out, on the internet for some strange reason? Is it that people in the UK they're wanting to let people in the UK know that this is their plan, but they don't want people in the rest of the world, including Pakistan, to pick up on this? But of course they will. But that seems a bit silly. Why also is it that Britain and the US have got to take this action and no other countries seem to be interested in taking care of it? Not that I think anybody should, but why is it Britain and America? Interfering in other countries' activities is what caused the terrorism which gave rise to the September the 11th and various other events. It's because the US and the UK have been interfering in other people's countries. We have people still in Afghanistan right as we speak. We have had people in Iraq. They're contemplating going into Iran. They're thinking about interfering in Korea. Basically, America feels it has the right to interfere in any country's activities where it is acting in a non-American way, i.e. not giving up its resources, i.e., its minerals, its oil, not selling stuff to the US when it wants to buy stuff that it wants, and it's going to have it whether that country likes it or not. Generally that's enough of a reason to create some false accusations that there is a threat there and they need to go in and fight the war against terror in that country, which inevitably then will lead to that country actually wanting to create a terrorist threat against the US because they're fed up of being fucking invaded by the US and fucked around with, and decisions about the way they run their country continually be taken out of their hands all the time. Now, is this not New World Order? I think it is. This is the New World Order, because this is America and Britain, which are obviously like that because of the Freemasonic and fucking background ties. Even though America thinks it's a free country and has its constitution, it ain't a free country. It ain't a free country at all. It was taken over by the Freemasons a long time ago, and they came out of Europe. And which countries do they come out of? France. They come out of Germany, France, into the UK, and across to the US. And what are they doing now? The America's tied up with the banks. The banks are all, from Europe through into the UK and across to the US. And it's the banks that control the whole show. This is why Obama went into power and then immediately installed loads of people from the banks into the offices of power so that the banks could control government. And everybody knows that's happened. It's quite clear. What are they doing? They're actually dismantling America. They're dismantling America to not allow it to have the ability to basically do anything under its power of its people, so that the people itself are weak in that country, and they're doing the same in the UK. They're basically bringing in foreign nationals from different countries. They're doing exactly the same in America. They're filling the country with people from Mexico and South America. They're trying to get sort of open borders so that they can get these people in. They take away the American jobs so that the man on the street has no money, has no power, has no say. They're criminalizing as many people as they can to get them into these prison systems, which are basically forced labor camps. It's practically, I would say, dissimilar to the situation in Nazi Germany, but it's just being done under a different guise. Instead of concentration camps, you have prison camps. And, they're making things like smoking a little bit of grass, a 10-year offence. As we know, I did a feature, I did a feature on my YouTube channel about a woman who got caught with $30 of grass on her, and she got 10 years. And she was a Native American woman. So 10 years for $30 of grass. So, 10 years, hard labour in the American concentration camps. Prison camps. Yes, where, of course, the guards don't have to kill you because they just allow the prisoners to run riot and they'll kill you. So it's a concentration camp without the Zyklon B. They don't need the Zyklon B because the prisoners will just kill each other. So, what a nice little system they got going there. So, of course, if you want to stay out of the prison, you have to go and get a job, and the job doesn't earn you enough money to get you health care anymore. So if you become ill, you're just going to, take care of yourself and probably die a lot younger than you should be because you can't afford any health care. And, any attempts to get socialized healthcare in the US is claimed to be a communist conspiracy, so they won't allow that to happen. even though it works perfectly well in Canada and the UK, and doesn't really add much money to the to your yearly earnings. In fact, it's I think it's about a third of what it costs in the US to actually pay for your national contribution in order to get your free healthcare. And if you can't afford the contribution because you're not earning any money in the UK, you'll still get the free healthcare. So, this is a communist conspiracy, even though the UK is very clearly a capitalist country, and so is Canada, and has no real wish to go in a communist direction. But in the American press and American media, it's played out as it's a communist conspiracy to take over America. Wow. I think that's just a lot of people who are working in the health industry and the insurance company industry who know it's a big fucking scam, trying to make as much money out of the American people as they possibly can. Anyway, we digress. We've got Japan, which is melting down because of its nuclear problem that was classified as a scale, I believe it was two sections higher than Chernobyl in its output of radiation and its danger level. So it's 2 higher than Chernobyl, and yet they're not really evacuating people from those areas of the country. They're just going, oh yeah, it's kind of not a problem really, like the Japanese do. Stiff upper lip, don't complain. We are proud people. We will be irradiated. We are proud people, and we will carry on because our government tells us it's okay, and we will continue to wail against international moratoriums, and we will do what our country tells us to do because we are very patriotic. So they're all getting irradiated to fuck out there. Basically, they've got lots and lots of nuclear power stations, which are just as much at risk of any other future earthquakes that will come to that area. And guess what? I picked this up from Kevin Blanch's channel, who's on YouTube. So type in Kevin Blanch, and he said he did a research study that said that I think it was 200 nuclear power stations in the US wouldn't even withstand a tornado or hurricane. They wouldn't even stand up to those. They weren't designed to stand up to tornadoes and hurricanes. And guess what we've been having in the US recently? Loads of tornadoes and hurricanes. The most recent one I've just seen taking down, was it Missouri? Something like that? Might be able to find it now. But anyway, looking really, really bad. And quite sad that the country is actually being decimated again and again and again by these terrible tornadoes and things like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, one has to ask, in a country that considers itself to be so blessed by God and goes to war, with God's name behind it, a la George Bush, God is behind us, so we can go in and kick the Iraqis' asses, yeah, and all that, and we are truthful, and God is behind us. Well, God doesn't seem to be behind the US that much when it comes to tornadoes and things like that. And if you're talking about biblical proportions of decimation, God doesn't seem to be really behind the US at the moment, so that's kind of interesting. It seems to be sort of like ripping America piece by piece apart. If it's not the government doing it and dismantling it and selling it to China, then it seems to be the elements doing it. And so we could see some real problems with the US actually being massively irradiated if it gets any uncontrollable tornadoes there soon. So it does ask the question, what exactly is going on in the world at the moment, and why does the New World Order think that it has the right to stomp all over the planet and fuck everything up? I personally cannot wait to see America actually stand up and rebel against its stupid fucking government and take its money back into its control, close the borders, stop people coming in, and start rebuilding instead of dismantling. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? And then maybe they'll get their free healthcare after all. So, if you've been listening, thanks very much.